All right. So, like I said, instead of going directly into a warm-up today, we're going to kind of do a slightly new concept. We're still going to use mean, median, mode, and range. We're just going to apply that to the dot plots that we did last week. So remember when we had those dot plots and we had to read them and figure out what data was what?
Oh, so we just do pretty much the numbers and we just do median, mode, and range?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're going to do. But I want to do a couple with you, and then you guys will do some on your own today. So over on Google Classroom, it should, okay, it's not posted. I'm going to make a post. All right, so it should be posting. We'll give it a second, have everybody reload their pages. Once it decides to go. There it goes. Okay, so reload your page, and you should have a new one that says MMMR and dot plots. So that means mean, median, mode, and range, and dot plots. I just didn't want to type that whole thing out. So we use MMMR as an abbreviation for mean, median, mode, range. Charlie, can you put your computer on you instead of other people, please? Thank you. MMMR and dot plots. So it's a set of Google Slides. We are going to do slides number 1 through 5 or 2 through 6, whichever one has the first 5 problems. We're going to do that one together, and then you guys are going to do the last 5 problems on your own. Make sense?
Yeah.
This will be a graded assignment, so you want to make sure you're paying attention for the first ones that we do together, so that when you're doing them on your own, you can do them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these opened up. I know it says line plots, but line plot, dot plot, same thing. So I'm going to give you guys about 1 minute-ish to get this opened up and have it open, please, and thank you. At the end, yeah.
Created by I love to teach kids. Huh? That's what it says. It's created by I love to teach kids.
Yeah, I didn't make this. I mean, I do like to teach, but I wouldn't name myself I love to teach kids on a website. No, there's a website that's called Teachers Pay Teachers. So, well, I don't pay for most of these things, but it's like where teachers will create things that they use in their classrooms. They'll put it online, and you can, if it's like a small little thing, you can download it for free, or if it's like a whole unit about. Be interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and look at slide number 2. So the fun part of this is that it's not just numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have to make sure we include all of the numbers. There's a lot of numbers on here, so it's going to be a little bit more in depth than you might think it is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to write it all behind me. So if you have the ability to see both or flip back and forth between the screen and me, I would do that. So we have to find the mean, median, mode, and range of these numbers on the dot plot, but we don't have a list of numbers like I've been giving you, do we? Not really. So we need to write our own list. So on the number 1, how many X's do you see? Don't overthink it. On the number 1, how many X's are there? 1. So that's number 1. There is one 1 in our data set. What about the number 2? Do we see any 2s?
Yeah,
1, 2. So we would write the number 2. What about 3? How many 3s?
2.
There's 2 3s, so we need to write 3 twice in our data set. What about 4s? There's 4s. There's 3 4s. So we got to write 4, 4, 4.
Wait, I don't get it.
There's 3 X's on the number 4, so that means that 4 is represented 3 times. So you have to write it 3 times.
But the kind of doesn't make sense to me. Like,
It's just the way it works. There's not really much of an explanation.
wait, but where did you get the 4 from?
The dot plot.
Like,
The number 4 has 3 X's on it.
wait, so number 1 is.
So the number 1 has 1 X, so you write it 1 time. The number 2 has 1 X, so you write the number 2 1 time.
Wait, then how come there's
one X on the one.
No, I mean on both of them. One and then column. Two, comma, three, comma, three, and then comma, two. Could you not do that?
But there's only one, two. Each X represents one number.
So wait, then how did you get so four?
Because there's three X's on the number 4, so there's 3 4s in our data set. So there's one X on the number 1, so there's 1 1 in our data set. For 2, there's one X on the 2, so there's just 1 2 in our data set. For 3, there were 2 X's, so we write 3 twice in our data set.
Wait, wouldn't on number 2 be one X though, or are you adding both of those two X's together for one N?
We're not adding anything yet. We're just writing out the data set altogether. We have to write out the list of numbers first before we can do anything. So we got 2 3s, 3 4s. What about 5? How many 5s are there? There's 3 X's on 5, so that means that there are 3 5s. What about 6? How many X's are on the 6?
2.
2. So how many 6s will I write? 2. Okay, what about 7?
0.
There's no X's on 7, so we do not use the number 7 in our data set. You don't put a 7. What about 8? How many 8s are there?
2.
There's 2 8s. What about 9?
5.
4. There's 4 9s. 9, 9, 9, 9. Are there any 10s?
No.
Nope. So that's our data set. So the amount of X's you see is the amount of times that you need to write the number in our data set. So it's a long list of numbers. There's a lot of numbers. But now that we have our list of numbers, we are able to find the mean, median, mode, and range of it all. Okay. The hardest part is writing out the numbers. The most confusing part. After that, we've been working on the mean, median, mode, and range. So hopefully that part comes pretty easily.
I thought it was just the X's on the one.
Nope. I know. That's why it's a little bit confusing. So if you see 10 X's on the number 4, then you have to write 10 4s, right?
Oh, damn.
So the amount of X's you see is the amount of times you need to write the number. So we need to find the mean, median, mode, and range of all of these. Yep. So the median, mode, and range aren't going to be too hard. The mean is going to be the hardest one on these because there are a lot of numbers. I'm going to go over to my presentation instead and pin me to the screen. So we have this list of numbers, right? A long list. We need to start by adding them all up. Take your time. Don't rush through adding them because if you add them incorrectly, you're going to get the wrong answer. So take your time. Start adding all of these numbers up, please. Give you guys a few minutes to add. I have to add them all up too, so.
And then, wait, how many?
I know what they add.
It looks scary.
Okay. So keep adding, just be adding them all up. Finding out how much it all adds to. I'll give you about 1 more minute to add those all up.
I'll try to do it in your head, use your tabletop.
All right. So when we add them all together, what do we get? 100. When you add them all together, we get 100.
Really?
Yeah.
I got 81.
Something went wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna add it up on the calculator real quick.
Okay. So when you add them all together, you get 100. But now we still need to divide
18.
by the number of numbers we added together. So we have to count how many numbers there are. I haven't counted yet, so. Okay, it is 18. So we need to divide by 18 to get our answer here. 100 divided by 18. There's 18 numbers that we added together. So we have to figure out how many times 18 goes into 100. Does 18 go into 1?
No.
No. Does it go into 10? No. We gotta figure out the 100 then. The 18 times, what do you think? 6? Let's try 6. So that's 48. That's 108. A little too much. So let's try 5. 18 times 5. No, it equals 90. So, yeah, it equals 90. So 5 goes up top. We can subtract and get what? 90 minus, or 100 minus 90? 10. If we started adding a decimal and zeros, what's going to happen? You're going to get 5 again and 90, subtract and get 10, and then you can do it again. What's going to happen with this decimal? It's going to keep going. It's going to repeat 5.5 forever. It's not going to stop. So we're just going to say that the mean is 5 5/10. So when we added up all of our numbers, we got 100. And then we divided it by 18 because that's how many numbers we added together. Now, the fun part, finding the median. There's a lot of numbers here, so you really got to take this slow, keep track of what you do. So let's start with the median. They're already in order from least to greatest. When we wrote them out, it already did it for us. So we just need to start on the opposite ends. So we have 1 and 9 at the very ends. Cross them out. Then take a step in. We have 9 and 2. Another step in, 9 and 3. And then we got 3 and 9. It's going to kind of go opposite a little bit. Then we have 8 and 4. Another 4 and 8. And then we're up here. We have 6 and 4. And another one, 6 and 5. We're left with 2 numbers in the middle. They're the same number though. So can I find the exact middle of this number? Your answer is just 5. So the median here is 5. When you have the same number in the middle, it's the number that it is. Okay. So that's our median. What's our mean? Our median. Our mode. What is another word for mode?
9.
Most. It's the number you see the most, which is what? 9. The number you see the most is 9.
Got the answer for all of them.
And then the range. How do you find the range?
1
Good. You take the biggest number, 9,
minus 12.
subtract the smallest number, 1, which is 8. There's our mean, median, mode, and range of that dot plot. Would you guys agree that the hardest part was getting the numbers correct?
No, like getting all of them.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get all of them. That's the hardest part. So let's go put our answers on there. And we're going to do the next slide. We're going to do 5 of them together. And then you guys will do the other 5 on your own.
Wait, we're doing 5 together and then 5 on our own?
So to type it over on the right, it says insert your answers below. The mean, we need to get rid of where it says insert here and put the mean. What was it? 5.5? Okay. The median is 5. Thank
What if
you.
you did exponent of how many x's are over that number? Would that still work?
None exponent, just multiply. So like for the 5, there were 3 x's, it would be 15 total. But you need to make sure you list them out because that affects the median. What's the mode of this one again? 9, and the range was 8. Good. So if that was confusing, don't worry, we're going to do it 4 more times together so that we kind of get the hang of it. I'll give you about 10 seconds to get those written in correctly while I erase all of this. We got this, don't worry.
Can I use the calculator for it? Nope. To just add it up? Nope.
Sorry. You don't get calculators on the state test, so we try to avoid it until they allow you to use them. I think in 7th grade, that's when you start to get using calculators. So I'm going to go to slide number 3. We have our next one to work on. Again, we're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range. And we got to list out these numbers. So let's start with the 4. How many x's are above the 4? 3. So how many times will I write 4? 3 times. Oh, that's not a good marker. Hang on. So we have 3 4s. Okay, what about 5?
1.
There's 1 5, so how many times do I write 5? Yoshi, sit up, focus.
Okay.
I will give that back if you can't focus.
Okay.
There's 1 5. How many 6s am I going to write?
4.
4 of them. So we have 6. 4 6s. What about 7s? 2 7s. 8s. 4 8s. Okay, and then the last part, how many 9s? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Good. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Whew, that's a long set of data. But this
Wait,
is-
how many 8?
Sorry, Sarah?
How many 8s?
There are 4 8s. So there's 4 x's. So that means that you have to write 8 4 times.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Is the way that we get all of these numbers in a list making sense from the dot plot?
Yeah.
How many times you see the x's is how many times you have to write it.
Yeah, it's making a lot of.
Good. I'm glad. Now that we have all of our numbers, what do? We got to find our mean, median, mode, and range. What should we start with? Adding. Let's start with the mean. Go ahead and start adding all of these together. My trick that I like to use is to combine the ones that are the same. So this is 3 4s, which is 12. This is 1 5, right? 4 6s is 24. 2 7s is 14. 4 8s is 32. 6 9s is 54. So it makes it a little bit easier to add after that. So go ahead and get these all added together.
It only goes in about number off. So can I just put 7 remainder 1? Or do I have to put 7.1? Oh, I got it.
It would be more like 7.1 if you drop down the decimal and stuff.
Because the answer is adding them all together is 141.
That's what I got too. Yep.
And then divided by 20, which would be 7 remainder 1.
Yeah, so that's about what it'll be. Yeah.
So 7.1 then?
But it won't be 7.1, it would be 7.0 something. It'll actually go in evenly, I think. So let's just hold off on that, okay? All right, but give you about 1 more minute to finish adding all of these together. It's a lot of adding, I know that.
No, wait, yeah, I will go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
7 0. No, 7.
All right. So with all of that adding and all of these numbers added together, what did you end up with? 141. 141. Now we need to figure out what number we divide by. How did you get 20, Alex? Okay. We have to figure out how many numbers there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20. Because there are 20 numbers. We added together 20 numbers, so we divide by 20. Now, when we do this, does 20 go into 1?
No.
Does 20 go into 14?
Yeah.
Not 14,
Oh.
but 141 it will. How many times? It's more than 5.
7.
It's 7. 7 times 20 is 140. So we get 140 below, and we get 1. 141 minus 140 is 1. Now that we're there, what do? We can make this a decimal. Okay, we can put a decimal, add a 0, and drop it down. If I add a decimal, what do I need to do with it? Bring it straight up. Now, does 20 go into 10? Not 10, so what do I have to put right here?
0.
A 0. And we dropped it, or we subtract and get 10 again. Let's add one more 0. Does 20 go into 100?
Yeah.
How many times?
5.
5. It goes in evenly 5 times. So you end up with 0. This goes in evenly. Your decimal is 7.05. 7 and 5/100ths for the mean. 7 and 5/100ths is the...
For the next one, would it be 7.1 because it's in the middle of 7 and 8?
7.1 is not directly in the middle of 7 and 8.
So then that would be 7.05.
Not 7.05. You're on the right track, but you're a little bit off.
Oh.
There you go. So to find the median now, we need to find the exact middle. So we need to start crossing things off from the outside in until we get to the middle. So I'll go 4 and the 9. It's a long thing. Let's get my workout. 4 is 9 again. Then we got 4, 9, 5, 9, 6, 9, 6, and a 9 again. 6 and 8. And then we can do this while we're
Once
closer.
you get the median and the mean done, then you can just pretty much 7.5.
Okay. So when we are left with 2 numbers in the middle, what do I have to do? I have 2 numbers that are different. Find the number that's exactly in the middle of 7 and 8. There are 2 ways to do this. You can think about it logically. What is the number that's directly in the middle of 7 and 8? 7.5. The other way to do this is to add the 2 numbers. 7 plus 8 is 15. You added together 2 numbers, so you'll divide by 2. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Both ways work, okay? So our median is 7.5. Now we need to find our mode. What's another word for mode? Most. What number happens the most? 9. And then we need to find the range. How do I find the range? Subtract. You're going to take your smallest number and subtract it from your biggest number. So 9 minus 5 is 4. Our range, wait, I said that wrong. 9 minus 4 is 5. So our range is 5. Whew, that's a lot of talking in math, right? So I think that for you guys, the biggest issue usually is just the little math skills that sometimes go wrong, right? Also, I forgot to present that on the whiteboard, so hopefully you guys are watching that online. I apologize. My bad.
Yes, Jim,
Hmm.
guess what?
Hmm.
The next one is like super long.
Oh, was it really long?
The next one is very, very long.
All right, well, we'll get it done. So let's put our answers here. The mean is 7 and 5/100. What's the median? 7.5. What was the mode? 9. Then the range was 5. There we go. All right. How are we feeling about this stuff? Good? Okay,
I think it's really easy.
good. I'm glad. So let's,
Wait, if there's 2 10 split and then you multiply both of them together, would you get 200 for it?
no, it's just 20. Because you're adding, yeah.
If there were 10 times, then that would be 100.
Yes. Okay, so the next one seems a little bit long. Let's start with getting all of our numbers written out. So we have the numbers 3 through 10. Let's start with the 3. How many 3s am I going to write? Just one. Okay. What about 4? How many 4s am I going to write? None of them. There's no X's on the 4, so you don't write the number 4 at all. What about 5? Good. Same thing. You do not need to write any 5s down. How many 6s? Okay. There's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 6s. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Got all my 6s. How many 7s now?
8.
There's 8 7s. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. How many 8s? 6 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 6 8s. How many 9s? 3. I'm going to write those down here. 1, 2, 3. And how many 10s? 2 10s. Okay. Looking good. Lots of work here, right? Let's find the mean, median, mode, and range now. Now that we have all of our numbers and we're going to find the mean, what do I have to do first? Add them all up. So go ahead and start adding, please. A lot of adding there. Alex, try a little bit, please.
This is going to be a long math lesson.
Yeah. Okay. Take another 2 minutes, get these added up. It's a lot of adding, so take your time.
On the division part, how many decimals? Zero to the right, should I go 3?
Does it not go in evenly? Then just go with 2, because I have not done it yet. So just do 2 decimal places if you're already there.
Yeah, it does not go anywhere. Yeah, go to decimal places.
Okay. So after we do all of that adding together, how much does it equal? Huh? 196. That is also what I got. 196. We got to divide it though by what? I didn't figure this out yet. So how do I know what to divide by? Is it 21? So we have to count how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 27, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. We got to divide by 27 because we added together 27 numbers. So we know that 27 doesn't go into 1. Does 27 go into 19? No. So we got to figure out 27 into 196. What do you guys think? How many times? 20. I heard 5 and 7. I'm going to try 7. I think 7. So we got 14. 189? Right? Okay, so it goes in 7 times. We have 189 that we need to subtract. Does, sorry, hang on. We're left with the remainder of 7, but like we've been doing, let's add a decimal and a 0 and drop the 0 down. Bring a decimal straight up. Let's just go out one more decimal point. Does 27 go into 70? Yeah, we gotta figure out how many times. What do you guys think? It goes in more than once. Maybe twice. Let's try it. 27 times 2. 14. It's 54. Can it go in one more time? Should we check it? 27 times 3 is 81. So is it 2 or 3? 2. Goes in twice because if you choose 3, it's over 70. So we got to do the twice. And it's 54. And we could keep going, but we're just going to go ahead and stop there for the sake of time. So our mean is 7 and 2/10. Somewhere around there. If you got 7.2,
I did
6 or
7.21.
something. 7.21?
Will that count?
It wouldn't be a 1 though.
Yeah, it would.
No, it would be like 6. 7.26. Yeah. Close though.
What can I just
Yeah, 7.2 works. 7 and 2/10. All right. And then our next one, the median. There's a lot of crossing out. What did you guys get as the median? Is it 7? Were you between the 7s? Hang on. Let me.
I forgot to add a clue.
Oh, I missed a 6. That's okay. I got this. This is a good workout. Okay, it's a 7. That was bad 7. So the median is 7. When you cross them all out and get to the middle number, you have a 7. What's the mode? What number happens the most? 7. There was a lot of 7s. What about the range? How do you find the range? Good. You're going to take the biggest number 10, subtract the smallest number 3, and you get 7. There's a lot of 7s in this one. Let's go write down our answers.
The next one is insane.
Is it hard? But the concept you guys understand, right? Okay, so let's write our answers down. The mean was 7.2, right? The median was 7. What's the mode? Oh, wow, 7 again. What about the range? Oh my goodness, 7. Lots of 7s here. So I'll give you about 30 seconds to work on this one.
The next one is not quite as hard, but it has a bigger number.
Bigger numbers now. Huh. The what?
The range.
It's right there. It's 7.
No, what's on the one up before?
The one before?
Yeah.
5. Okay, about 30 seconds or 10 seconds. I don't know. I'm going to erase this and we'll get going to the next one. Okay, let's look at slide number 5. Now, like I said, we're doing 5 of these slides together and you guys are going to be responsible for the other 5. That means that you won't have, let me finish. You won't have enough time during the lesson today to finish all of these. So you just got to make sure that you finish them on your own time. It's a graded assignment for the start of next quarter. If you don't do this assignment, you're a little bit behind already starting out quarter 4. So keep that in mind. If you don't finish the assignment, but you'll have time. I'll make you guys make sure you do it this week and next week. So yeah. So slide number 5 is problem number 4. We have bigger numbers here, but there are less numbers to deal with. So let's start with the 43. How many 43s will I write? 2. There's two 43s. Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. And then we have 44, 45, 46, 47, and 48. They don't have any X's. Do I have to write them down? Nope. You don't write anything down. 49 though. How many times am I going to write down? Once. Okay. What about 50?
What about one? Not the zero.
Good. 50 does not have an X. We do not write it down. What about 51?
One.
There's one 51. Good. 52?
Zero.
No X's. Good. We do not write it down. What about 53?
Three.
There's three of them. 53, 53, 53. And then 54?
One.
One of them. Do I write any other numbers down? Nope. The rest of them have no data. We don't write anything down. So this is a smaller set of data. We just have bigger numbers. So I'm going to go over to the whiteboard part of this, right? And we're going to start by finding the mean. What's the first step to find the mean? Add them all up. Start adding, please. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes on this one. If you're done, sit tight. Yeah, please start adding. I got to do it all too, so. Alex, write them down and it'll help.
We're still going to 84.
Yeah.
That one? Wow, the next one also has a lot of things.
Okay, we'll do about 1 more minute for adding all of these together. I watched it.
Like, so you can see the answers on number 6.
You can already see them, or you got them already?
I done them.
Oh, I was like, oh no.
I got the I did. What was it?
All right. I think I got a different answer
If you had
when I add them.
2 zeros, would you just put 2 zeros?
If there's an X on two of the zeros, then yeah, you put 2 zeros in it. Because it's part of the data set.
So then 0 and then 0.
Yep. Okay. When you add them all together, what did you get?
399.
399. Did anybody else get 399? Data?
I got 404.
I got 409. We got a lot of different answers here. Let's use a calculator just to check this one, okay? So we have 43 plus 43
49.
plus 49 plus 51. 53, 53, 53,
54.
54. 399 is correct. Okay. So we added them all together and got,
Is that the answer though?
no, that's the, when you add them all together, you get 399, but we still have to divide by what? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Does 8 go into 3?
No.
Nope. Does it go into 39?
No.
How many times?
4.
4 times, which is 32. We subtract and get 7. Drop down our 9. Does 8 go into 79? Yes. How many times? 9 times, which is 72. We subtract and get a 7 again. We could add another decimal and a 0. Bring your decimal up. We have 70. Does 8 go into 70? Yeah. 8 times. That's 64. That's a 6. It might just keep going. Let's see. No, it'll end. Does 8 go into 60?
Yeah. 7 times.
7 times, you get 56. Subtract and get 4. This is the ending right here. Does 8 go into 40?
Yeah.
5 times. This is a longer decimal, but it does eventually end, right? You end with your 0 down at the bottom and you're good. So our mean is 49 and 875 thousandths. Okay? Come on, stop. Let's do the median. How do I do the median? See what's in the middle, cross them out. So let's start with 43 and 54. Move it in, 43, 53. And again, 49 and 53. We're left with two numbers in the middle. When you see two numbers, I like to just look at them first. What is directly in the middle of 51 and 53?
2.
Good. 52 is your median. Directly in the middle. 52. Awesome. What's the mode? What happens the most? 53. 53. And our range is what? What do I do? 54
minus 43.
Good. 54 minus 43, which is not 12. 11. So the range is 11. So when you have bigger numbers, I actually think it's easier when you have bigger numbers, but there's less to add. I think it's easier. Less stuff to do. So let's go ahead and go over to our slides and put in our answers. And then we have one more problem to do together. Hopefully my computer doesn't die in that time.
Is 17 going to 100 at all?
Not evenly. Our mean was 49.875. What was the median? No, the median was 52. The mean was 49. The mode is 53. And the range was 11. Good. I'll give you about 30 seconds to get this typed out. Then we're going to do one more together. And I really hope my computer doesn't die in that time. I don't want to go get a charger.
I'll go get it.
It's plugged in and over there, and it's a lot of work. Not that much work. I just don't want to do it. I'm just being lazy.
Listening to the squirrels and Jenna the Jedi's conversation without getting ready. Yeah, stop it, Jedi. How much is it going to go?
It's not going to reach.
Oh, no.
All right. Yoshi, look at my screen, please, really quick.
It's too bad. One more.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and do the last one that we're doing together. So slide number 6. This one is shorter, not as many numbers. So let's start with number 4. How many times do you see it? Twice. So we write it twice. Good. What about 5? There's 1, 5. 6. There's 2 of them. What about 7? 3 7s. And what about 8? There's no 8s, right? So we don't need to write 8. What about 9? 2 9s. And 10. How many 10s? 2 of them. So there is our list of data. And we need to find the mean, median, mode, and range again. We're doing this a lot today, right? So start by finding the mean. We need to add all of these numbers together. So go ahead and start adding, please. Remember the little trick, you can always do this if you want to. All right. Yep, I got it. Give you guys about a minute or so to finish adding. We're on number 5. So it's slide number 6, but it's number 5 that we're doing. Yep.
Is that the last one you're doing?
This is the last one we're doing together. Yep.
I said all of them.
Good. After this, you guys will be working on them on your own. Okay, about 30 more seconds to finish adding these up.
It's very exhausting.
I know it's a lot of busy work, but not super hard of a concept, right?
Yeah.
All right, when you add them together, what do you get? 84? Did anybody else get 84?
84.
You guys got 84?
Yeah, that's the one I asked you once.
Good.
It's not the one to 84.
So it is 84 when you add it all together. Now, we need to figure out what we divide by. Why did you get 12? Because there's 12 numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers. 84 divided by 12. This is a multiplication fact, one that you should hopefully get right off the top of your head. 84 divided by 12 is 7. Goes in evenly. So the mean is 7. The average is 7. Okay. How do I find the median? What's my next one? What's the process of finding the median? Cross them all off from the outside in. So start with the 4 and the 10, and then we go 4, 10, 5, 9, 6, 9, 6, 7. What are we left with? 2 7s in the middle. If they're the same number, what does that mean? That's your answer. It's just 7. The median is 7 again. There's a lot of 7s in this today. Okay, now we need to find the mode. What's another word for mode? Most. What number do we see the most? 7 again. There's your mode. All right. And then finally, the range. We need to take the biggest number. What's the biggest number? 10. Take the biggest number, subtract our smallest one, which is, the smallest is 4. When you subtract, you get, 10 minus 4 is 6. So our range is 6. So 7, 7, 7, 6. 7, yeah. Lots of work here. Let's go input that in our slides. All right, so for the mean, we had 7. For the median, we had 7. What about the mode? Oh my goodness, another 7. And the range? 6. The only one was different on that one. Good. So that means if you were working along with me, doing the work, or at least writing down the answers when we did them, you should have slides number 1 through 6 completed. That means that you have slide number 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 that you need to do on your own. Okay, but you still need to do 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 on your own. The ones that I am grading are not the ones we did together. I am going to grade slides number 7 through 11. It is, so there's 5 slides, and there's 4 questions on each slide. Each one is a point. How many points will this be? No. There are 5 slides with 4 questions on each. 20. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 questions on each. You need to find the mean, median, mode, and range on each. Huh? Yeah. 1 second though. So we don't have time for you guys to really work on these on your own during class, so that means that you need to make sure you finish them on your own outside of class. So I would suggest you guys kind of start going on it right now so that you can be working on it and making sure you finish it on your own time. That is our lesson for today.